You are live.
Well, we are live. Welcome back to the Blame Girl podcast with Mr.
Mr. Terry Wayne right here. And
And what?
our our guest, Mr. Nico Bollingstein. Everybody
Howdy.
welcome.
It's just
How's it going?
bowling.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
bowling.
Bolling.
Oh, you
The
look like a
Bolling. It's
steam.
because it's my alt account, but I got locked out of my main account, so I just use my alt.
He's a
Oh.
little. He's edgy, guys. Like I said, he's very hilarious. He's edgy. He's a conspiracy theorist. Maybe very smart. We're gonna get into all that later.
We were just
How
talking
was-
about how he looks like a homeless librarian. I think that's a
Nico.
spot
Nico,
on.
how was your weekend?
I'll suck your dick for some books. Uh,
Oh,
my weekend. Well, that's why. If you're wondering why I look so twitchy, I swear I never do drugs, but this weekend I did some drugs.
oh no,
Oh.
Nico, what'd you do?
For legal purposes, B12,
Okay. Something
We'll talk
something
later.
that energizes you.
something that's very
We'll talk
energetic.
later. We'll talk later about
Something that gives you a
when,
little bit of a
why,
post nasal
how.
drip. So if you see me blowing my nose, that's the thing. But I'm good.
I got
I
you.
swear I
Yeah.
haven't
We
done anything
follow
hard
along,
since
so.
New Year's 2019, but I sort of slipped up this weekend. But it was a
All right.
special occasion.
Nobody's
What about you,
perfect.
Terry? How was your weekend?
My weekend was mainly work. I got together with my girlfriend and about 4 family members, and we painted my sister's
Copycat.
entire house in a day.
Nice.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
Every room in the house, top to bottom. But that's a good lesson. Many hands make light work. So
Fucking A.
we thought it was going to take us all weekend, but we knocked it out. We started at 11, we ended at 9, and we were done. That was it.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What colors you go?
Muted tones, just mainly browns and beiges, but it
Yeah,
needed to be
beige.
done.
I hate beige. I can't handle beige.
Yeah, but
I know.
all you gotta do is just pop colors. You need pop colors if you go muted,
Well, she did do some accent walls, which kind of breaks it up,
Nice. Good shit.
So yeah. No, it was a good job.
I did a little
Um,
painting myself. Like I did, I bought this bed really cheap on Facebook Marketplace, a bed frame, wood, and I decided I'm gonna antique it. I think my friend Terry may help me
Yes,
this
I will.
weekend.
I will.
But I
Another weekend.
prepped it. I sanded it and I primed it, and I've never done that before, so it's kind
All
of
right.
like,
Good for you, man.
so.
Well, it's the same deal for my sister. You owe me pizza and beer. That's what's
Sick.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
it. It won't be homemade pizza like you make, but
no. I
we can
prefer to
arrange
buy
it.
it too. Like
We
it's
can
nice to make it every once in a while, but come on, it's way too much effort, to
all right.
do that. all the
I forgot to share the show on Facebook, but nonetheless, I'll get to it in a second. So let's get to the topics, right? Share the show on Facebook.
Oh, my bad.
Oh. So I find Dave Chappelle a very necessary political voice in
Mhm.
politics.
100%.
Who's to blame? Like I'm sure you comedians. I'm not gonna replay the video here because I didn't clear it with my producer ahead of time, but I should have. I didn't think about it. But basically, Terry sent me this video from CNN, and Dave Chappelle. It's a clip of what he said about January 6th and how like he went off, right? He went
Mhm.
off. It was wrong, and he said so. And
Go ahead.
chime in.
Oh, no, I'm saying the thing that struck me most about his comments about the insurrection was that here are these people that they were all against Colin Kaepernick and the NFL players kneeling for the flag because they said it was disrespectful to troops and law enforcement in this country. And then those same people used an American flag to try and beat a cop to death with. Now, that's insane to me, the hypocrisy of how you can't see But that's why we need somebody like Dave Chappelle that has a platform. I mean, to me, Dave Chappelle is becoming less and less of, say, just a comedian and more of like a movement head. He's becoming almost like a civil rights leader. You know,
Yep.
he's moving outside of just comedy. He's doing, you know, that little segment that he did from his summer camp about George Floyd. You know,
What was it, 843 or
yeah,
the amount of,
846
it
or
was
something like
titled
that.
the
Yeah,
amount
yeah.
of minutes he stood on that man's neck.
Right, exactly. That statement went viral because it hit all the right notes. He's an extremely well-read, extremely intelligent, articulate person, and he's moving into a whole different genre now, where it's more like like a George Carlin, but a George Carlin with a purpose and a movement behind him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where people are listening, and he
Well,
should.
I think
Absolutely.
before I let Nico chime in, I just want to say I think that he is a black man that a lot of white people love. And I think it's a lot of white people on both sides of the aisle, and they may be open to listening to him. Not all of them, because I mean, clearly we still had people storming the Capitol after that 846 video, but
Right.
I think that helps him, is that he is so beloved by people because of his comedy. What do you think, Nico?
Oh, well, it's kind of funny. I'm super into conspiracy theories and shit. And I have another friend of mine who's also a comic who's super into conspiracies. And we were talking about Chappelle, and he thinks Chappelle is in the Illuminati and shit now because he's very vocal about identity politics and just the current zeitgeist of what's going on. And he thinks that he's doing it intentionally because he's a race agitator. And he told me that, and I'm like, dude, race agitator, we forget the dude's like in his 50s now. He's not a race agitator, he's just grumpy. He's getting older, he's getting grumpy, bro.
Yeah, he's tired of this
Well,
shit.
he's still in his 40s, but
Really?
yeah,
No
but
shit.
I don't think that race in this country needs any agitation right now. I think it's pretty agitated all by itself. I think that he's well read, he's well educated. He comes from his parents were both well educated. They were both professionals. His father was a professor. I forget what his mother did, but it was a very prestigious job as well. But it's the way he puts things. He can take these intelligent points and break them down. Like I hadn't even had, because of his comedy and his intelligence, he can break it down in a way that everybody can digest it. I had never even thought about linking, somebody using an American flag to beat a cop with the Colin Kaepernick thing. But his brain makes those connections.
That shit was pretty funny, though.
It was a good connection. And I think also he does some of his political points with humor. It's not all this just hard hammering. It's been lately, but he does make political points with humor, as he always has, especially when it does come to race. If you think about it, he's always been a race agitator, if you will, Nico, because if you go back through some of his sets from 20 years ago, he's talking about race.
No, he's just shit. I'm not saying he's a race agitator. I'm saying my other friend was saying that. It's like, dude, no, it's fucking Chappelle we're talking about here, man. He's not just coming out of the woodwork. He's not some random that picked off the street.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and he famously in his most famous, at least in my opinion, his best special he ever did. He had that great joke about, like, I live in a house that's too nice for me, and I'm afraid to call the police because they're just going to show up and knock me out and go, oh, I've seen this before. This black guy broke in and put pictures of himself all over the walls. Sprinkle some crack on him and let's do that.
Crack on him. That was my. I was using that line all through this.
Did you see his set at the Laugh Factory where he gets up there and he's just riffing completely off the cusp? He takes a look at the backdrop and he's like, man, every time I see this backdrop, I just think about Kramer fucking up.
Fucking it up.
It was so great.
You know what's funny is I feel bad for Kramer now because I mean, if you go back to the first seasons of Comedian in Cars Getting Coffee, the Seinfeld show, and you watch the last episode of that first season, it's Kramer. Ooh, man, that dude, and that was 7 years after the incident. And that dude, he has just come apart. You can just see it in his eyes. He just ain't right anymore. Like that whole thing just ruined.
You shouldn't have
ruined his
done
life.
it. It's his fault. Like,
Well, I understand. All right. But at the same time, like punishment, crime, they should fit. Like
Kramer was the first,
but it shouldn't ruin his.
Kramer was the first person that got canceled. Like he shouldn't have said the word on stage like that. Like I'm gonna go do later tonight because I have a new N-word joke.
There was plenty of people who got canceled before him. Imus got canceled long before that for saying nappy-headed hoes about this.
He should have. Was that pre-Michael Richards meltdown? I thought Imus was after that.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
I the way I think about it, it just seems so long ago. But he definitely wasn't the first canceled person.
But for what it's worth, Gio,
we've been canceling people for a while, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Go back and watch the clip because I'm telling you, this is just my own little take on it. The crazy thing is, like, everyone says, like, oh yeah, Michael Richards says the N-word. Michael Richards said the N-word. He's racist and shit. If you go back and watch the clip, he's getting heckled by a black guy. Yeah. It doesn't make it right to, call him the N-word. But basically, in the moment, he screams like, oh, you're, says the N-word. Yeah. And the first, like, one or two times he says it, the crowd is absolutely with him. He still had him. But then he just snaps and fucking loses it and starts screaming it like a madman. That's when people started walking.
Well, they gave him license. The audience gave him license by approving it. And he was like, oh, I get away with this. And then he just went off like a madman.
Well, yeah, it was a little bit more than they did give him license, but they gave him license using the comedic way. And he just decided to make that as an outlet for all of his repressed psychotic impulses. Because also that's another thing that I believe is if you go back and watch a lot of outtakes of Seinfeld, where like he's a very serious person playing a very jocular character, and you could see subtle body language. You can tell he's just completely uncomfortable in the situation and he wants to just fucking lose it. So what it is like it's more than just like race this, race that. Like Michael Richards got some fucking anger issues, man. That's what it is.
I think he has anger issues, but he fucked up when he went on stage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Losing his career is one thing. Losing his mind as a person, that's too far. For the crime, it's like getting caught for shoplifting and getting.
Nico sounds like maybe he thinks it was going on before that happened. No.
Oh well, yeah.
Or are you saying
specifically racism? I don't know, but rage in general, absolutely.
Yeah. No, he definitely has anger issues.
Look,
you can see it.
We've gone too far down that rabbit hole. Speaking of rage, a lot of Texans are enraged this week. Texans had rolling blackouts during the winter storm last week. Who's to blame?
Texas lawmakers. Texas lawmakers. Look, I want to make this clear to anybody who will listen, okay? The reason why Texas has these blackouts is because Texas is the only state in the lower 48 that is not on the federal power grid. Now, that might seem like something small, but it is not. They voted to stay off the federal power grid because they didn't want federal regulations controlling the power in their state. That's what they chose. They chose to make that happen. But the problem is when you're not on the federal power grid, you can't borrow energy from other states. And not only that, but the head of SCROT, I believe it is what it's called, actually went on the news and said this was going to happen, period. He literally said they were either minutes or seconds away from having rolling blackouts that could last months.
ERCOT, ERCOT, ERCOT.
ERCOT, yeah, that's the name of it. No, he literally went on there and said they were seconds or minutes away from this happening, period. It's got nothing to do with windmills or green energy or any of the other bile that fucking Fox News.
But Fox News said, I don't know. Let's see what Nico thinks.
Okay, well, Texas only gets 20% of its power from renewable sources. Period. It just doesn't.
Give our guest a chance to chime in. Nico.
Well, I really don't have much. But I don't really have much to say on it because, Frank, I did read the article you sent me, but I mean, infrastructure isn't any sort of area of expertise to me. I'm not sure how that works. I do know.
But you can. I know that you can chime in on infrastructure, and this is because me and you we do talk about economics a lot, and this is an economical argument almost because
I
if
think it comes more down
Brad
to the
just-
actual logistics of it, because I know that they have a lot of natural gas, and natural gas becomes sluggish in low temperatures, and they're just not used to dealing with temperatures this low. They're a southern state. I mean, it sucks, and I feel sorry for them, but I don't think it's really right to heap blame on one party when the whole fucking state is out of power, and there's lots of people to blame. A lot of it's just logistics. And people were talking about the windmills and shit, saying that the windmills froze, and people are saying like, oh, like that's just why windmills are bad. And there's other people saying like, look, there's windmills in Antarctica and shit, and they never freeze.
They
don't
didn't prepare.
But it's
period.
because it's the
Texas
same.
didn't
It's the same
prepare.
exact windmills.
let me just say, the day after this happened, there was a campaign by probably energy lobbyists to go on and say that and blame windmills. You know what I'm saying? And then
Well,
another,
that's
another thing
on.
about
Biggest thing you
this,
should stop watching the fucking news, because everything on there is misinformation.
Breaking news. Brad, our producer,
I was going to bring that up.
just put up a post from an article from the Washington Post that says now some Texans are getting electric bills after the storm from anywhere between $2,900 to $17,000.
Yeah, I heard that. So that's another part of it, the throttling.
Yeah.
That fucking
That's
sucks.
what you get with capitalism in your fucking
Oh God, here we go.
utilities. Yeah, there we go.
You can't have it. You just can't have it. There's certain basic necessities that people have to have.
Yeah, there's some areas of life that capitalism should be excluded from. Hospitals, medicine,
Health insurance. Yeah.
prison,
Yeah. Healthcare.
utility.
The basic life necessities. But the fact of the matter
Brad
is,
says it's because some Texas power companies tie their prices to market prices for fuel. So that's
look, fuel's going down. It's going down. That's it. These industries, they're the horse and buggy industries. They're going down. They just are, period. Like even GM said that by 2030, they plan to make nothing but electric cars. And that's a huge loss.
But remember, all those electric cars are still being fueled by power stations.
Coal is going down. We didn't destroy the coal industry. Do you know what destroyed the coal industry? It wasn't the federal government. It wasn't regulations. It was natural gas. Natural gas is cleaner. It is cheaper to produce, which is the big thing, obviously. And it's cheaper
also fails during freezes.
And it's cheaper to refine. That's what killed coal. Not Barack Obama, not some regulation. Capitalism killed coal, and it's going to continue to do.
I know. Obama definitely killed coal. I personally watched Obama walk into a coal plant in a tan suit and just start shooting up the place. He definitely killed coal.
No, capitalism did.
All right,
How do you feel about nuclear?
Just one last thing. Texas didn't prepare, because anybody that wants to believe that Texas and the windmills or the renewable energy, there's way more windmills in other states like the high plains, and they've gone through the same storm. They've gone through the same winters. And you know what? Oklahoma ain't having rolling blackouts. Neither is North Dakota, South Dakota. Neither is Indiana. Neither, you know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here. It's
Let
crazy.
me tell you what Texans are going to do to change things so that this doesn't happen in the future. Nothing.
Probably. But I agree with Terry. That's what it really boils down to.
My mom was without medicine for a few days.
Damn, dude.
I don't know.
Everything's bigger in Texas, including their stubbornness. All right, that's what it comes down to.
What?
They'd rather freeze to death than have government than have federal interference. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Bless them.
Listen, that's only half of the citizens of Texas. Why should the other half suffer? Like this is so frustrating.
Vote better. What do you want from me? I can't help you.
They should vote better in Texas. And
Get
I left
Rick Perry out of there
to Florida to help here, and they're suffering.
Hey, get Rick Perry and Ted Cruz out of there. Get even the local level. Get that. They kicked out that
Greg
mayor
Abbott
for saying like, "Hey, we're not here to help you." Like what an
idiot.
Yeah,
I did see that. That dude was fucked up, bro.
You saw that?
What an idiot!
You're talking
Who
about
says that?
the mayor of Colorado City, Texas, He told everyone that they basically needed to pull themselves up by the bootstraps during the winter storm and take care
And that's just such a fucked up thing to say. And like, I get the sentiment, but what do you mean pull yourself up by the bootstrap? You want to fucking just start chopping down municipal trees?
It's not even that. Chopping down municipal. What are you going to lay your own pipes for your own plumbing system? Like, get the fuck out of here. Not only that, you're a civil servant. Their tax dollars literally pay your salary, moron. What are you doing? You know?
This is funny though. This really isn't related, but it's just a funny story. You can ask him about it. Fucking during like the last hurricane, there was one night where I just got like ridiculously blackout drunk and like convinced myself that I needed to start chopping down the trees outside my apartment so that me and my neighbors could have firewood in the event of like societal collapse. And Jesse Cohen, God love him, talked me out of it.
Well, God bless Jesse Cohen, because I don't know if you know this, but you live in Florida, so you don't really have to worry about freezing to death.
Tell that to my alcohol-soaked brain, Terry.
Okay. Well, I know it might get a little chilly, but
that reminds me, we need to pencil in Jesse Cohen for a guest, because that would be an interesting ass guest, man.
100%.
All right, so guys, speaking of identity politics, I don't know if it was before we came on air or not, but you know, Biden is ramping it up, especially when it comes to our courts. Who's to blame?
Donald Trump.
The Illuminati.
I'd say just
Donald Trump is to blame.
No,
go ahead.
I'd say it's history, because there's been plenty of other people who could have appointed a sister to the court by now, and they haven't. So,
well, Donald Trump
is America just not ready for to be judged by sisters? Too bad, because you got blame girl. So I'm judging.
Well, Donald Trump appointed more federal judges. He appointed more federal judges in one term than any other president that has ever lived. So yeah, when Biden came in,
I almost flipped my desk over when you said that. That's it.
Yeah. When Biden came in, I think he brags about it all the time. Trump brags about that all the time. But when Biden came in, I think he had a very much the same mindset that Donald Trump had when he came in, which Donald Trump said, anything that Obama did, anything that Obama put through, I'm going to overturn. And now Biden's in the chair and he's like, well, anything Trump did, unless I agree with it, which is rare, but unless I completely agree with it, I'm throwing it out, because and I don't disagree with it.
Of retiring judges in the federal system. So
you know what? If you like Donald Trump, that's fine, but Biden's only playing by the same rules that Trump started. So you can't even hate. You can't even be mad.
So in the federal system, 4 Black women serve as appellate court judges out of 179. All of them are older than 65. So, you know, that just makes me feel like good about aging, because you can still have really good jobs at 65.
I don't like the numbers.
And then there are 35 Black female district court judges, and that's only 5% of the total number of judges. So, I mean, I don't feel like those stats are completely off, because Black people, as we know, are only about 13%, or the last time I looked it up, of the nation's population. So if the only thing is, are there more Black men than Black women? You know, clearly.
Probably because men, forget Black, men are more likely to go into the legal field than women are. That's just statistics. So, I mean, if it's talking about a race issue, let's talk about Black men and Black women. You know, but if we're talking about
Black women,
I understand. But if we're talking about a race issue, let's talk Black men and Black women. Or if we're talking about a sexism issue,
it's a race.
I know, but if we're talking
Black women,
but I understand, but you can't have both camps. Either we're talking about a race issue, which means we should include Black men and Black women, or we're talking about hang on, let me finish the thing. I've tried 3 times. Or we're talking about a sexism issue, which means we should include both white women and black women. You know,
No, Terry,
but you can't just be an island amongst yourself. You just
it
can't.
doesn't.
You want to run? I'll help you run. I'll be your campaign manager.
I don't want to run. I mean, if he wants to appoint me to the Supreme Court, accepted. But other than that, no. And just so you know, I'm a paralegal. I am well versed in the law, so I'm.
Yes, right. You're a fucking paralegal. You actually.
Yeah.
You should run. You should do it. Run for judge.
You don't run. You're appointed. I can't.
Well, I'm not talking about.
No, you can run. You can run. Judges are elected.
Yeah, local judges. I could run, but I can't because I don't have a law degree, so I couldn't run.
Actually, you don't have to have a law degree in most places to be elected as a judge. I know.
No,
crazy.
You're mistaken. You don't have to be a. I could be a magistrate probably, but I can't be a judge.
Yes, actually, you can. You can. Maybe not here.
Nobody said you have to.
Maybe not here in Florida.
I want to get you in there.
Brad, will you look up I don't even want to get off the air without finding out who's right on this one. Brad, please.
Oh, I can tell you.
Up in the comments. I
watched the whole editorial on this.
We can defer to the techie. I like that shit.
Well, John Oliver did a whole editorial on elected judges, and some of them.
Oh, so you got your information from John Oliver. What do you know about the Florida justice system?
I didn't say Florida. I said in some places. I didn't say in Florida.
I know, maybe in some
there's
places.
A lot
Those are
of
usually
places.
Magistrates, but not in Florida.
There are a lot of places where you can be elected as a judge with having zero legal experience.
Court is all I'm saying.
Okay.
I gotta tell you,
I don't know anything
listening to this
about
podcast.
I'm just saying.
Is this how it usually goes? Just you two talking over each other?
Yeah. Well, no. Normally she's not so vocal.
I've been nicer to Terry. Gonzo told me to be more of a host because I get into blame girl mode and I just go attack.
No, it's good. It's entertaining.
It's fine. She's gonna try and tear me down. That's fine. I get it. I'm the patriarchy. No, but there are a lot of places where there are people elected judges that are like mechanics and they're like, you know what I mean? They have no legal expertise whatsoever, but they still get elected. It's kind of crazy.
I'm going to wait on the information to be posted in the comments. Hopefully it will be. If not, I'm going to be coming for you later on that.
I will post it. I will post it right now.
That you're wrong. About Florida anyway. So guys, we have moved past decriminalization of drugs, but now we're trying to destigmatize illegal drugs. Who's to blame? And before we get into it, I'll tell our viewers right now. Carl Hart, he has studied psychoactive drugs for 3 decades. And his new book is laying out why he thinks all drugs should be legal. And he also just would have some heroin to unwind from his day after teaching. So again, why are we destigmatizing drugs now? Who's to blame? What do you guys think?
I wouldn't go as far as he does. Where I'm talking about specifically that Columbia professor. First of all, I want to say, dude seems like a fucking fun hang, bro. Like he seems like a Black Timothy Leary. He seems really fucking cool. I'd like to party with that dude. Specifically heroin, I wouldn't go so far as destigmatizing it. I do think all drugs should be decriminalized. I'm not sure about legalized, but definitely decriminalized. Nobody should be going to jail for a victimless crime when you're not, doing anything violent to somebody else. Heroin's kind of gnarly, bro. And I did see this. There's one thing I don't like about the guy. Now, mind you, he's totally entitled to his opinion. But in the article, he said that he doesn't like how, hallucinogenics like LSD and mushrooms are being destigmatized because they're supposed to be spiritual. And he says that's because white people prefer to use them. But it's like, I know plenty of Black people who use hallucinogenics. I know plenty of brown people who use hallucinogenics. Apparently, it's supposed to open your third eye or whatever the fuck. I have never tried hallucinogenics because I'm afraid I'll freak out. I have too much shit locked up in the vault. I like shit that keeps me in the moment. Also, another thing he's saying, like, oh, yeah, LSD and mushrooms are like such a white man's drug, but heroin is totally a brown man's drug. I don't know if you've noticed the fucking opioid epidemic, but a lot of fucking white people love heroin, homeboy. But so yeah,
that's right.
Well, they don't love heroin. They don't love heroin. They love prescriptions, you know.
True. Yeah,
Then,
fucking oxys.
but then they get to a certain point where they're like, heroin's just cheaper and it's the same thing, and then they just end up doing heroin.
And it all gets broken down into morphine in your system. So, just me. I've
started
before.
Well, I mean, there is some argument to be made with the whole gateway thing. You know, we used to, even myself, like we used to argue about, you know, pot's not a gateway drug, and it's not. I've smoked pot since I was in high school. Took a few years off, went back, you know, back and forth. But pot and alcohol, that's it. That's been my only drugs my whole life.
Oh, come on, with that schnoz of yours, you've never taken a toot?
No, never. No, because I never done coke because I'm afraid I'll like it too much, and you know what I mean. So I'm just like, I know my personality. I'll get way too productive, and I'll be like, I gotta have. Same thing with Adderall. Is like, I know it'll hit me, and I'll be like, I need to do this all the time. So
that's why I'm sorry, Gio, real quick before you chime in, I just want to say that's why I'm glad I have this little baby ass Janet Jackson nose, because I can't take a toot without getting sick for a week and a half afterwards. So that's what kept me from actually like getting addicted to anything like that.
Yeah.
You can't. It's hard for you to snort, huh? But I just want to know, like, why do you think we're moving into this? Like, I think a lot of us agree with decriminalizing, but now destigmatizing, because as you know, in some states it is legal to do heroin or other illicit drugs.
Is it some states or is it just Colorado? I know Colorado.
Just one state that I know of.
Let me finish. And also, I know personally, like, when it comes to drugs in America, drugs can help you get off of other drugs, you know, like I know that ibogaine, this hallucinogenic that is not legal here in the United States, cures heroin addiction. I know that alcoholism can be cured with LSD.
Yeah.
Tobacco addiction can be cured with psilocybin or whatever's in the mushrooms. So I've always thought that we don't have it really perfect when it comes to drugs.
This actually, you're making a great point, and it's going to lead into the words for white people this week. But yeah, the problem is stigma that we have, and it's the stigma about drug abuse and addiction being a personal failing. Like, all you have to do is, you know, be positive thinking. All you have to do is have a sheer force of will. And it's like, get the fuck out of here, man. That's crazy. Would you tell that to somebody with cancer? Would you tell that to somebody that, you know, who has leukemia? Like, you just got to be positive and will your way through.
Terry, I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt.
Hang on one second, Nico. But no, the Netherlands did it right. That's how they did it. They approached drug addiction as a medical problem, as a medical affliction. And they used to have one of the highest percentages per capita of opioid abuse as far as heroin goes. But they treated it like a medical problem. They would literally give heroin to addicts. But they said you had to come to our clinic. You had to check yourself in. We'll give you a regulated dose. We're going to help you wean off of it. We're going to help you detox. And they would literally just give it to them in regulated doses. But it helped. They dropped their numbers significantly because they didn't treat it like a crime. They treated it like
we know Scandinavia does.
I'm sorry. I have a question for Terry.
What say, Nico?
Terry, so you think it mostly comes down to stigma, right?
A lot of it, yeah, because we think of it as a crime instead of a sickness, which is what it is.
You can stigma cock in your mouth, bitch. Hey, you got him.
Really? Really? You brought it to a speaking halt for that stupid pun. That's what you're bringing to the table?
I thought he had
I thought he was going to drop some knowledge, and he's like,
I can do that too, but come on. You're going to hit me with, you're going to leave yourself wide open for a stigma. I can't not. Come on, Terry. I'm sorry.
All
right. Brad is saying that kratom is, that they drink that at the kava bars. Kratom is used to treat opioid addiction as well. And there's research that heroin is effective treatment for severe depression.
Trust
Well,
me, I know
yeah,
people
and
who have
so
gotten
is
off of
methadone.
using kratom. Like I'm telling you, so it does cure heroin addiction, but it also turns you into an insufferable asshole. So
Yeah.
What is that?
And,
Oh, kratom?
yeah,
well, but see, methadone is a substitute for heroin as well. But the problem is, then you get addicted to the methadone. So
yeah,
it's like,
it's the same thing with
yeah,
Suboxone, right?
Suboxone's the same thing. I knew somebody that was into the the synthetic heroin, the blues and whatnot, and they were on Suboxone, but then they ended up getting addicted to the Suboxone to where they're just taking that all the time now, which is
I
crazy.
wonder about the ibogaine. Ibogaine, it's like a it's a root or something. So I don't
It's
know.
supposed to be a crazy fucking trip, though.
Ibogaine.
But you're right, Gio.
Would
You're right about drugs being able to treat other drugs. Like I got to a point where I was drinking too much, but I leaned on weed, and weed helped me to reset, to where I was able to just not drink like that anymore. You know what I mean? So like I totally get addiction. I'm not going to say that I was one of the terrible alcoholics, but I was going there. I was on the path to it. You know what I mean? But weed really definitely helped. I wasn't drinking a glass of vodka in the morning, but if I'd have kept going down that road, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, Gio,
What's
just
the
to get you-
craziest drug you've ever done, Nico?
Oh, meth.
Meth?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Terry?
good God.
Fucking.
Terry?
Well, I said I only did weed and alcohol,
This is a safe
but I
space,
did
baby.
I did do shrooms once, so
Thank-
there's that.
Did you have a good time or did you freak out?
No, actually, I I ate the shrooms, right, and nothing really happened. I just kind of felt a little happy, and then that was it. And then we said, isn't there supposed to be something more to this? We were camping, right? It was me and some friends of mine, and my buddy had brought them, and so we ate some more, and nothing happened. And then we ate some more, and we just kept eating them. And then he looked down at the package, and I looked at him, and I said, "Dude, these are 3 years old. They
No
were
shit.
complete. They were complete duds. Like
I didn't know
I was-
psilocybin went bad.
They
That's
didn't
crazy.
work.
apparently it does because I had I wanted to do like almost like a microdose to like introduce myself to psychotropics, but so I was going to do like a half an ounce, just a very small amount. And I ended up taking like 3.5 ounces with nothing,
And nothing happened.
which
I
is
think I've
supposed,
had
yeah,
that
that
once
should
before
have
when I
made me
did
insane, but nothing happened.
Yeah, like you could have fucking. Well, even though I'm sorry you got blue balled. That could have gone way worse, buddy.
Well, we did it. We did it responsibly. We ate a little bit. We waited like an hour, but all we felt was like a little happiness, and then that was it. Like nothing really. And then we ate some more, and we waited another hour. We were just camping, so it's like, we had nothing better to do than to eat these things and just wait.
I mean, it
But,
doesn't usually get too crazy when you eat mushrooms, but if you eat that many, I imagine it does.
Well, I'm supposed to go to Colorado in May, and they're legal there. So we're gonna try it. We're taking another camping trip, another rafting trip, and so we're gonna try it again and see how that works. But yeah, I'm like you. I'm worried about what's gonna come out because I've got some big tragedies in my life, so I'm worried about what's gonna come out of it.
Just remember, breathing exercises, baby. Fucking center yourself. Just relax, go with it. Because that's what everyone tells me. It's like some people are like, "Oh man, you got to try it. It'll open your mind up." But I know some like real heavy heads, and they say if you go into it thinking you're gonna freak out, you're gonna fucking freak out. So don't do it unless you know you're in the right headspace.
Yeah, you gotta have a safe space to do hallucinogenics.
And also never do it alone. Make sure you got friends and friends you actually like, not people who you tell yourself are your friends, like people that you actually.
The guys I'm going with and doing all this stuff with, I've known for 25 years since I was
Have they seen your dick?
9th grade,
Have they seen your dick, Terry?
Huh?
Have they seen your dick?
No, can't say that they have, to be honest.
Oh man, you can't do fucking shrooms with someone who hasn't seen your dick, dude. That's not the right kind of kinship. You gotta go with someone that's seen your dick and balls.
I can't do it then. I've seen theirs because they're a little more outlandish than I
That
am.
counts. That counts.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what we're good.
Yeah, because
That
like one of them definitely likes sending pictures just to freak people out and be like, I hope you're in a meeting,
Sick.
and then boop, and then
Okay.
yeah, cock and
Well,
balls.
Yeah, let's move on. The craziest thing I've ever done was shrooms. Wow. That was funny. Have you seen their dick? So this is our hilarious, edgy fucking guest, Nico Bolling. Welcome.
I look
Again.
horrible right now. I promise to any viewers at home, I promise I'm not the scary in person.
No, he's scarier. He's scary.
Oh, I mean the way I look, not my personality. I am the scary in person personality-wise, but I'm a lot more handsome in person.
Yes. So Nico, how long have you been doing comedy?
I think I'm a little over 3.5 years now. I think I don't really keep track like most people do. Honestly, like my only benchmark for it is like I started doing comedy a couple months before I met my ex-girlfriend, and then we lasted 6 months. And then so like I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just saying that's my benchmark for it, and I don't keep track of that shit either. So I think I'm about 3.5, maybe just a little under 4 years now.
Well, it seems like comedy lasted a lot longer than that relationship did.
And you know what? Here's to that, mate.
Yeah. Just to chime in here, Brad, our producer, said 3 cigarette smokers talking about drug addiction is kind of ironic.
I wasn't
I can't argue. I can't argue that. You know.
I wasn't gonna read it.
I just want to make it clear. I never claimed that I'm a saint.
No.
So
I think everybody can look at you and know that. I mean, that's
that long hippie hair. That long hippie hair.
I've been hanging out with that Black Timothy Leary guy, bro. I grew it out.
I'm surprised you don't have dreads yet.
Oh, by the way, just real quick, I just want to put it out there. I got the article up. His name is Professor Carl Hart.
That's
Professor
right.
Hart, if you're watching this, if you know Professor Hart, send this to him. I want to party with you. Get in touch with me.
We'll see what we can do to get this to Professor Hart. Make this happen.
yeah. Nico looks like Mitch Hedberg, but like right at the end. Like that's
You mean when he's pale and blue?
yeah.
Did this turn into a roast now? Like
No. I knew he would appreciate that joke.
Nico, since you've started, what's been your favorite venue to perform at?
Oh God, my favorite venue. I haven't done it in a while, and honestly, I don't know if they're still doing shows there, but some of my best shows have been Elizabeth Avenue Station and
Oh yeah. That was
a great. I met Matthew Brossard there.
Yeah.
And I said hello to him, and he was very awkward, but that's the only celebrity I've ever met. And I had some great shows. I mean, of course, you remember Renee's The Spot. Have you ever done The Spot? Either
in Miami?
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You like
No,
that?
I liked it because it was a fun hang. Like, and mind you, I did have some great fucking shows there. Especially
it was a very intimate setting. Do they not have it anymore?
No, we stopped doing The Spot a while ago. I think they might have gotten shut down. I know they got some kind of fine.
I liked your first one, the Elizabeth Ave Station. I went there a bunch, and that was always a great show. Always a really supportive crowd. They were there to laugh. They were there in a good mood. You know what I mean? They were always Even when I would do that anti-liberal humor, even when I would fly in the face of everything they believe in, they'd still be able to find the humor in it. And that's
it was an intelligent crowd. It was a very intelligent
it was a smart crowd.
But the antithesis of that, it's just my favorite room, and I'm sure it's Gio's favorite room too, is Swampgrass Willie's, because they just love us there.
They just don't give a fuck.
That's for the house favorites right here.
We are the fucking house favorites, dude.
Yeah.
Well, what am I saying? 3, right?
Yeah.
They love you.
Yeah. 3.
Because some people get intimidated by that room. They look in there and they look around. It's like, it's just a bunch of fucking cracker ass degenerate alcoholics. But I walk in there and I'm like, I'm home, baby. These are my people.
What? Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong with that.
It's funny. I would not go to Swampgrass before. Like I lived like right around the corner from Swampgrass for years. Right? Never went there. Never went there until I started doing comedy, and Drew Ferrano was like, you never did Swampgrass? It's dumb messy. You got to go check it out. And so I go check out Swampgrass. And it's
Well, you can go to other rooms and learn how to be a comedian. You can learn how to be a comic at other rooms. That room makes you a warrior. You know what I mean? That room will cure your stage fright to the point where you can go in any room after that. If you, it's like New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, because that is a hostile crowd
environment for sure. It's definitely humbling. What's been your proudest moment, Nico?
In comedy, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't give a shit about your personal life.
Well, we do. We're gonna get to that next.
Well, shit. Honestly, I guess I know it's recent, but a couple days ago I did Blue Jean Blues, and I'm very proud because A, I fucking crushed.
Nice.
B, I got paid $50 because the crowd was very sweet to us and they tipped a lot. That's another thing is I wasn't paid $50 as a guaranteed paid spot. They loved all the comedians. We all crushed so hard that they tipped enough to pay like the whole 8-person lineup $50 a piece, which is the most I've ever been paid to do comedy. And also, my mom used to sing there. She's a jazz singer, so I was performing
that's so cool.
the same stage that my mom used to do. So yeah, I'd say that's probably it's very
your
recent.
Proudest moment. Did your mom go?
No, I don't talk to her anymore.
Oh, what? I didn't know this. We'll talk about that later.
I'm actually that's great. That's great to hear, because I'm actually on the March 18th show at that same show. So now I'm getting more excited because I'm like, if that's a good room.
Fucking great show, dude.
Yeah, I'm hearing
and Nick Masick, shout outs to Nick Masick, is just such a professional and knows how to put a fucking show together, and he's so sweet. Give the shirt off his back. I love Nick Masick. He's the fucking man. Shout out to Nick Masick.
We had him on the show a few weeks ago. Yeah, I was gonna say that. It's Nick Masick's room. And if you're in Fort Lauderdale or not, go check it out. I hear it's really good. And if you're a comic, try to get on that room. I'm still trying to get on.
I'm excited about it already.
I'm sure you're gonna fucking crush it, Terry. And that's another room.
Well, I don't know, man. I've been out of the game for a bit, you know, like I've only done sporadic shows here and there.
Terry.
Just warm up. Hit some mics before. Definitely warm up. But I'm telling you,
I'm gonna hit the mics before. Look, you know, I went through some personal shit. You know, I had to get things together. You know, but now things are together, and I feel better than ever. And so I'm gonna be coming back out now that pandemic's winding down. Now I'll be coming back out. I'll be hitting these mics. I got a whole new set that I wrote about.
Sick, dude.
Some of this shit. So
just real quick, I want to let you know. You told me you liked Elizabeth Ave Station because it was a smart crowd.
Yeah.
Blue Jean Blues, same vibe. You're gonna have a great time, dude.
I'm stoked, man. I'm already excited.
All right.
Oh, and Nick, book fucking Geo already. What are you doing?
It's fine. I don't need favors.
Come on, what are you, a racist?
I
don't want to be booked on my marriage.
It's not favors. It's recommendations.
I'm actually booked on Nick's show this Thursday at Kelly Brothers. So
see, what are you whining about?
Because I've heard good things about Blue Jean Blues, and
he's putting you on Kelly Brothers, the shit room. Come on, I'm calling you out, Nick. You're a racist. Put the black woman on the good show.
And he has like 30 comics on the Blue Jean Blues show, so I don't know what it is. He does not want me there.
All right, take it easy. Let's not turn this into a
Nico. Who are you? Tell us about Nico.
Stop. Do not ask. I hate that question in interviews. What is a Nico Bolling? What is?
I know it's pretentious, but I got some good answers.
I chased her off. I got her.
Oh God, you're gonna ask that shit and then get jail?
You're gonna leave me here with this?
God, all right, we'll wait. We will wait.
I'm gonna ask you a different question while we wait for her to come back. Now, rumors have spread around about you, right? And your heritage, the place that you come from, and the lifestyle that you live. Yeah. And a lot of people say that you don't have to live this way if you don't want to. You're just choosing it. You're choosing to be Nico Bolling as we see him. Is that right?
I suppose, but what do you mean have to live this way? Is it that obvious that I live in squalor? I thought I was doing a good job keeping up the facade.
I didn't say. Look, I'm just saying. I've heard rumors for years about you that that you choose to be this way because you come from money and you're this and you're that. Like, let's just get to the heart of it. You know, people say you come from money, but you just choose not to live that kind of life, and you want to be this. So,
well, it's just, I mean,
clear the
it's
air.
both. I mean, I do come from money. I am what you would call a trust fund baby, even though I hate the term trust fund baby because I'm a trust fund man. But it's also like, you know, I don't have,
the beard,
I don't have to,
gives that away.
but I don't have direct, like there's misconception. I don't have direct control over the fucking money, dude. I get what they hand me.
Trust funds don't work like that.
Right.
But it's also like, you know, I have a very, I love my family. My dad's great. He's very supportive. I love all my friends. I have great friends and shit. But I also, I mean, I live with a pretty gnarly skin condition that is debilitating at times. And, you know, also everyone who I've ever associated with are great people. But, you know, we're all fucked up. We're all broken. And, you know, people call me edgy. And I know I am edgy, but I just want to make it clear that I'm not deliberately trying to be edgy or offensive. When I get on stage, I just talk about shit that I find funny. So, you know, and that happens to be some very dark topics.
And that's what kind of stood out to me. Like when I met you, I came on the scene, I'm like listening to this guy and he sounds like, you know, he's a conspiracy theorist. You sound a little bit like WT, no shade. But then I heard, like, met your dad, he's an art dealer. I was like, this motherfucker ain't no WT with an art dealer dad. Like,
white trash. No, sweetheart. I'm not white trash. I'm what you call.
No, I know that. I know you.
I'm cultured. I'm just also a scumbag.
Right. Well, see, but that's why I wanted to give you
who Nico Bolling is.
That's why I wanted to ask you that question.
A cultured
because
scumbag.
I want to hear it right from the horse's mouth. You know what I mean? Because again, I know how the comedy scene works. You know what I mean? I've been in it almost 10 years.
Are you?
I know how the rumors swirl. I just want horse's mouth answers from you, and that was good. That clear. You know, I help. You know, I feel
really a gypsy.
I am. Well, I'm an Italian gypsy, and that means my ethnic heritage is Italian, English, and Slavic, and a lot of my family does come from Romania, so I am gypsy in the literal sense. But also, a lot of my grandparents, they grew up in tenements and shit. A lot of them had to steal to survive. So yeah, I'm gypsy in both senses, man. My grandfather taught me how to, you know, do car insurance fraud and steal shit. So, you know, yeah, I'm a gypsy, baby.
All right. So that brings me to the blame game. Are you ready to play the blame game?
I'm a little embarrassed to admit I've never seen your show before, so I don't know what the blame game is.
I don't think most people who've been on the show have seen it. So.
No, they haven't. But I like it that way. Spontaneous answer.
Yeah, they're not.
All right,
ready.
yeah, I'm in it.
So, you are both very smart and very immature. Who's to blame?
Well, I don't think I'm very immature at all. And isn't maturity just one of the white man's concepts, Gio?
No, I don't think so. No, don't you ain't getting out that easy.
Well, I don't know. Am I really immature? I'd like to think I have childlike enthusiasm.
I think you have the same problem that I used to have, which is you're too existential, right?
Let's not. No. Wait.
No, hang on.
He
Let
just
me finish.
interrupted you earlier to tell a dick joke. He's immature. Have you seen his post on Facebook?
No. Let me explain,
Gio, and he'll be
before
like, balls.
Before you start railing.
He's immature.
Before you start.
Very smart. He could give thoughtful commentary if he wanted to, but he don't. So what's
that's not the thing. See, I have a feeling that Nico sees life a similar way that I saw it for a long time, and to some extent still see it today, which is at the end of the day, we're all just going to shit our pants and die. That's 100% guaranteed fact. So he sees it as, why not interrupt and do a dick joke? Why not take drugs over the weekend? Why not?
Hey! I made it clear that that's a very once in a while thing.
Okay, I'm just saying. What? Because when you see life for what it actually is, you're always asking, why not? Why not be this way? You know what? Why not just be the way I want to be?
And you know what? I think I do have a thoughtful answer for Gio, because the way I do have a lot of existentialist, if you would call it existentialist, outlook on life. That, you know, esto también pasará, like, you know, this too shall pass. We're only here for a fleeting moment. But no, that doesn't make it any less special or any less beautiful. And I do have goals. I really want to make it as a comedian. I want to make a name for myself. I want to make my father proud. I want to get married and start a family and have children one day. Like, you know, I got a lot to live for. So it's not just a fleeting day by day thing. I do have plans. I'm trying to improve myself every day.
Yeah.
Trying to be better than who I was, you know, yesterday, every day, even though I fuck up a lot and, you know, I could always be doing better, but everyone doesn't matter. You could be the hardest working man in America and you could always look back and say, I could have done more. So you got to stay away from that mindset as well. But I mean, I guess what it really comes down to is that, like, you know, I mean, I've been hurt by words before. Everyone's been hurt by words, but also I've been hurt by situations before. Everyone's been hurt by situations. And I'm sure you're familiar with the saying, I believe this was Marcus Aurelius, as the gods dispose, man laughs or weeps. And I think it's better to laugh. So yeah, it's good to be immature. It's good to see humor and to make light of suffering and, you know, just make as many dick jokes as you can. And, you know, just fucking talk about diarrhea. What the hell is funnier than diarrhea, bro?
to quote the movie Gladiator, every man death smiles at every man. All you can do is smile back.
All you can do is smile back, baby.
All right. On that, let's ask Nico, do you have any promotions? We missed Blue Jean Blues, but what you got coming up?
Shit. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to give me a second because Corey I'm actually got a roast battle coming up.
Just put out your social media, man.
Okay, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. I am at Nico.Bolling.18. That's Nico.Bolling.18. I know it's the most basic thing. It's my name and the year I made it.
The worst Instagram name I've ever heard for a comic.
Whatever, I'm rolling with it.
So and if they follow you'll be putting your promoting on there.
Yeah. Like I don't have it up yet because it's happening next month, but that's pretty much my next big thing is I'm on a roast battle. I'm gonna be roasting Charlie Esterillo, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. You should come through.
I wish I could do roast battles.
Well, Charlie is gonna be our guest next week. So
no shit.
If you're listening to this, tune in next week because it's gonna be Charlie Esterillo.
Against this guy.
This guy. It's just so happens we happen to have them back to back.
All right. So Terry, do you have words for white people this week?
I do. But again, you know, it's not just going to be words for white people. This is words for all people. And that is, in today's age, there's one thing that we need to remember. And because with all the news and all the media and the memes and social media and everything, we're getting bombarded from every side. So when you get that quiet moment to yourself, when you put down your phone and the TV's off, or you're driving in your car and the radio's down, and you have that moment to yourself, this is what I want you to remember when you're thinking about all this stuff. Know thy enemy. Okay? Because I don't feel like we know our enemies anymore. I feel like that part of us has been corrupted because we get told who our enemies are. Maybe it's a caravan coming up from Central America. Maybe it used to be Al Qaeda, but that's gone now. And then it was ISIS, and that's gone now. And now it just becomes each other. Now we're our own enemies. We look at our neighbors because they voted for Biden or because they voted for Trump, and we turn them into enemies. And we don't know who our enemies are anymore. You know, COVID's killed over 500,000 Americans. And there's a huge swath of the country that still doesn't give a shit about it. And yet they're totally in support of spending almost $1 trillion last year on the military, even though we already have the greatest military might that humankind has ever known. And yet we're still okay with spending almost $1 trillion fighting that.
But eliminating
and yet the terrorism, international terrorism, has never killed anywhere close. All of it combined from the time that America started to now, international terrorism has never even killed close to 500,000 people because we don't know who our enemy is anymore. Our enemy should be cancer. Our enemy should be heart disease. Our enemy should be these things that actually affect our daily lives. All of us, because everybody listening to me has known somebody that has died from heart disease or somebody that has died from cancer, and we don't give them $1 trillion, because if we did, that motherfucker would have been cured a long time ago, because we don't know our enemy. Our enemy should be that which threatens the life that we have, that threatens the life that we hold dear. It's all we have. All we have is our one existence. That's it. So how do you want to spend it? Do you want to spend it hating people in a foreign land just because they're different, or just because the news told you to? Do you want to hate your neighbor because they voted for somebody you didn't like? Or do you want to hate the actual things that are tearing people from your lives that you love and may tear you from yours? Because it's all you have. So please, if you learn nothing from me ever in your life, if you hate me and you hate everything I stand for, that's fine. Learn this one thing. Always know your enemy, the real enemy. That's it.
Oh, I love those words for white, or for people this week. Those are good. I like that.
Those are just words for people.
All
I got
right,
some words for
guys,
white
it was
people.
a great show. I'm gonna drop a couple of promotions before we pop out. I am at
Wait. Let me pop in here. He got to do words for white people. Can I do words for white people?
no, that's Terry's segment.
Oh,
It is my editorial. This is the only
It's real
thing
quick.
I
I
got.
can't look. Blame Girl can't even talk while Terry's doing words for white people. I wanted to chime in, but I shut up. Did you see it?
You should. It's Black
I was
History
like,
Month.
Yeah, you know what? For Black History Month, we should switch it, and you do words for Black.
I don't
We
have a
should've done that.
segment. You
That
know,
was
I will let you know.
We should have done
When
that.
I was chopping up the lines, I gave the first bump to the black dude because it is February.
so Drewilla.
I'm part of the solution,
Drewilla.
baby. Part of the fucking solution.
Drewilla was our guest last week. All right, guys. This week
It wasn't him. I'm not slandering him. It was not him.
tomorrow I am at Henny Time in Hollywood, Florida. Thursday I'm at Kelly Brothers, the crappy show, as Nico put it, in Fort Lauderdale. Saturday I'm in Boca at the Boca Black Box 2.0. And
Nice.
Sunday I'll be in St. Lucie at Tagloni's Pizza, something like that. Follow me.
Tivoli's. Oh yeah, no, that's a good show. That's David
You know that
Aguilar.
David Aguilar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good show. You'll enjoy that.
So other than that, guys, we will see you next week.
I'm gonna throw mine out too, if you don't mind.
Oh.
I mean, no, I'm just a patriarchy, but Terry Wayne Comedy on all social media platforms. I always put my shows on there. The next one's gonna be at Nick's shows with Blue Jeans, and that's March 18th. But you can always go on there. I always put when I'm coming out to Mike's, and always put when I'm.
We actually have a show coming up in April together at Monroe's.
That's right. We're gonna be doing the strip club together, which is awesome.
Sick.
And
I'll get you a
I
lap
don't know
dance.
about you. We talked about it, but are you going to Hullabaloo? They got that open mic tonight. I gotta go get some time in before tomorrow.
Oh, me
It's
tonight.
right by
Oh,
you,
that's too
Terry.
far.
Don't do that. All right. All right. Bye,
I should.
everybody. We will see you next week.
All right.